I'm Shruti Sharma. I'll be your host for this exciting session, wherein we'll be diving into expert strategies and actionable insights on efficient budgeting and catalog optimization for large catalogs. Here's a quick look at today's agenda. We'll be covering up key challenges e-commerce brands face generally, how to tackle these challenges effectively, introduction to BigAtom.ai, which is a powerful product performance management platform, optimizing catalog for maximum impact, exploring catalog AI, and then a live Q&A session at the end. So let's get started. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speakers and panelists for today. We have Sriram Subramanian. He's the Associate Director of BigAtom.ai. With over 7 years of experience in building B2B products in the edtech and e-commerce space, he has worked closely with D2C brands to develop tools that improve performance across paid channels and enhance e-commerce conversions. We also have Utsaa Roy. She is the marketing director of Being Human. She's a seasoned marketing leader with over 13 years of experience in brand building, performance marketing, and driving marketplace growth across platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, and Myntra. Then we also have Rudransh. He's the Associate Director of Marketplace at Yogi. Rudransh comes with 10 plus years of experience in the industry, specific experience of 8 years in e-com and 2 plus years in the QCom domain. He has worked with marquee brands in the industry and seen the e-com and QCom ad ecosystem evolve from the very start. We also have Alisha Rathor. She is the Assistant Manager at Marketplace at Yogi. Alisha is an e-commerce growth specialist with 6 years of experience scaling marketplace brands through performance marketing, AI-driven automation, and full funnel strategies across Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and quick commerce as well. Let's get this thing started with a quick poll. So I hope you can see a poll on your screens. So the first question here is, what is your biggest challenge when selling on marketplaces? Inefficient budget allocation, leading to wasted ad spend, low product visibility, and poor organic ranking, managing large catalogs and keeping listing optimized, difficulty in tracking and adapting to changing consumer trends. Great. It seems most of you are struggling with inefficient budget allocation, leaking ad spends, and optimizing product listing. We'll be covering strategies to overcome these over the course of the webinar. Without further ado, I would like to invite Sriram, who will be taking us through BigAtom's capabilities. Over to you, Sriram.
Thank you, Shruti. Let me get to the BigAtom slide. Yeah. So I've been working with e-commerce brands for the past 7 plus years, and I've been building products on the e-commerce space. So uh, while working with these teams on e-commerce, be it the founders or let's say the merchandising teams or the marketing teams, so these are some of the common challenges we have faced across all e-commerce brands. So going into the challenges, first is let's say lack of product discoverability. What do we mean by that? So whenever I launch a new collection, I always find that my clients are not able to identify my products in the marketplace. These products doesn't get the right visibility it is supposed to get. So unless you get the right visibility, your products are not going to get sold. So lack of product discoverability has always been a major challenge for brands. Second challenge is the lack of clarity on spend distribution. We often ask brands that, okay, do you know what is the share of spends on your top? Let's say if it's an apparel brand, what is the spend share between your top tiers versus bottom tier, right? So that gives you a clarity on where you are spending currently. Is it going to the right set of products? That clarity is something which most of these brands miss currently because getting this data is really complex. You have to go into each and every campaign, get this data, and connect it to a product level, right? So the third case is inability to identify your profitable segments. Again, a similar problem. You find it really difficult to get the information of what is the ROAS for each product, what is the revenue for each product. So what collection is doing well for me, whether my discounted products are doing well in terms of revenue or my new season products are doing well. Similarly, let's say black versus white, what color is doing well for me. So we have found often that brands find it difficult to identify what are their profitable segments. The last use case is majorly on leaking ad spends. So we run ads across multiple campaigns, multiple platforms. But what we don't usually get to easily identify is that whether I'm spending it on the right product. Most of the times we find it after spending a lot of money that, okay, this product is not performing for me. I spent enough on this product, but it's not giving me any revenue. And that too is a complex activity for a brand to identify. They need to go into each campaign to check and identify where are they leaking their ad spends. So let's just get deep into each of these problems. So the first problem on the lack of product discoverability, I'll take a brand as an example. We work with Metro Shoes. They are a really big omnichannel brand working out of India and selling shoes online and offline. So they face this problem of whenever they go on a new product launch, let's say they launch sneakers in their website and they found out that okay, these products are not getting the right visibility. It's often that when you're running campaigns, you put your products into all the products into a campaign. You create two, three campaigns and then keep promoting all of your products. There, let's say, be it Amazon or Flipkart or let's say Myntra, they often don't give visibility to all these new products. Rather, they keep on spending on the products which they have been promoting for a longer period of time, where they have seen there are some click rate coming on, there is some engagement happening. So they keep on promoting those products. That's because of multiple reasons. Obviously, these platforms also need to take care of their user engagement, so they'll push for products which are getting the engagement. But what happens is at the end of the day, we will lose out on getting the right push on our new collections, which is supposed to be our hero products for the future. So one example is this. In case of Go Colors, also we have seen that okay, when you go live on an active wear launch, they face the problem that okay, our active wear products are not getting the right visibility. This could not just be these collections, but it will also be for your festive collection. We have seen across multiple brands that, okay, let's say when Diwali comes up or let's say Christmas comes up, you launch a new collection for it. And those collections doesn't get the right amount of visibility in your marketplaces across all the marketplaces. So that's the point if you're trying to make on lack of product discoverability. Moving on to the next problem which brands usually face is lack of clarity of ad spends. So what you see on the left-hand side is the actual dashboard of Amazon, right? So here, if you see, you need to go into each and every campaign, identify what are all the products running into each campaign, check the spends from them. So let's say if a product is running across five campaigns, you need to download five campaign data, combine them together to find out what is the expenditure done on each product. So now brands often come across this as a very tedious task, difficult to do it on a daily basis, so they don't get the right clarity. They often do it as a monthly activity. By the time they do it, they would have already lost on the changes which they could have done much earlier. So some of the examples are, let's say, if we want a brand to identify, okay, luggages versus backpacks, what am I spending? Top wear versus bottom wear, what am I spending? Where is my money going into currently? Or let's say shoes versus slipper for campus as an example, right? So I guess even for your brands also, when you look at your brands, you would have a lot of cases like this where you would want to know, okay, my category A versus category B, what is doing well for me? Right now, we are just getting into summer season from winter season, so you would ideally want to know whether my season products have started picking up, whether I've reduced my spends on my sweatshirts and increased my spends on my shirts. So that's something which is a lack of availability of data easily makes it really difficult to take these calls. Third is inability to identify profitable segments. Again, we often come across that, okay, I don't know whether my online exclusives versus non-online exclusives are doing well or not. What color is doing well for me? Because solely, again, this data is also something you need to go in depth into each campaign, do it into Excel, and then get this data. Now, where does it help you? So, if you know that, okay, your new season merchandise is doing really well on Amazon versus old season merchandise, which is on discounted, is doing really well on Flipkart, then your budgets can go accordingly and then you can promote the right set of products on the proper platforms. But the lack of this data often results in being a challenge for the brands to take that right call on what set of products to be promoted on what channels. The last case is leaking ad spends on wrong products. One of the classic example is that how many times have we faced this problem where, let's say, you find a product really good. Let's say you're finding a shirt. You click on the shirt, you go into the product detail page, but then you find that your size is not available. So this is a common challenge that you have seen across brands that, okay, broken sizes or cut sizes as they call it. You might have S, M, L, XL, double XL as sizes, but your core sizes could be just S, M, and L. If those products goes out of stock, then most probably the other two sizes doesn't get sold at that frequency or at the pace where it used to sell. Now, users will still see this product because it's active. They click on the product and then they land on your product page and then they find the size is not available. So that's amount spent on these advertising is some money wasted. Plus, also that's a poor user experience for your end customers that they like something and then they're not able to get that. So this is one of the common challenges. The other challenges include high AOV products with no deal tax. So your competitors are running on discounting, but we are currently not on discount. So that's again a common challenge we see in terms of products not performing. So the core idea is to identify the products which are taking a lot of ad spends but not giving you any revenue at all. Just to give you the numbers, so we have seen across brands we have worked with, almost 30 to 40% of your budgets go into these type of products, which are giving you subpar revenue, subpar ROAS, subpar returns on all of these spends which are making on these products. Now that we have discuss these challenges, you might ask, how do I solve this, right? So it is definitely solvable. So I've come across here with a three-step process on how you can do it, though it is complex doing it manually. But I'll try to just put across on how do you solve this step by step so that you can take the right information from these platforms, analyze them, and do the right optimization on these platforms. So the first step is to take the data from all these sources. So let's say Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart. You take the spends information. How do you do that? You go into each campaign, download your product level data from each campaign, put it into an Excel sheet. Similarly, you do that for product funnel. Let's say what is your add to cart, what is your purchases. You take the revenue information from either Seller Central and combine all of this into a Excel sheet at a ASIN level or an FSN level. Now you know what is the spend which you've done on this particular ASIN and what is the revenue you have for this particular ASIN. So now, once you get these two data, let's create buckets of products. So let's say we're creating a spend bucket and a ROAS bucket here. So spend buckets could be that any product which is spending less than 2,000 rupees or greater than 2,000 rupees. It's an example you can take according to whatever you have. And the ROAS bucket could be something like, okay, I want products which are doing less than 2x ROAS and products which are doing greater than 2x ROAS. So now this helps you to have pivot, which you can see over here. You can create a pivot of all those products where it is spending greater than 2,000 rupees and it's giving me greater than 2x ROAS. So that's what you see in green over here. Spending greater than 2,000, giving you less than 2x, you see in red. So this is basically bucketing of your products across four buckets. And each of these buckets have their own way of optimizing. I'll probably go to the buckets to help you understand this much better. So what we have done here is we have created a product performance matrix. It's a 2x2 quadrant of your profitability and visibility. On the x-axis, I've taken the ad spends, which is the spend buckets. On y-axis, we have the ROAS buckets, which is performance buckets. So any product which is spending really high and it's also giving us really good performance comes under your hero products. These are products where you should keep on spending more. We should extract more value out of these products. Non-performers are all those products where you are currently spending a lot, but they're not giving you any revenue. In this case, which we have taken, you see 35% of my spends has gone into non-performers. It is just giving me 10% of my overall revenue. Uh, where it's a inefficient way of spending our money. Ideally, we should cut down on this 35% and push that into your hero products or high potential products. Now, coming on to high potential. So this is an interesting code. So these are all products which are gaining traction organically. They are currently not taking any spends. You're not pushing it via paid, but these are all doing really well organically. If let's say you start promoting them on paid, then you could extract much higher value out of these products. So these are all your next best of products which can go into your hero products. So let's say if you see it as a consistent loop, so you push some budgets into your high potential, find out your hero products, give more budgets onto your hero products. Once the product reaches its life cycle, it will become a non-performer. You stop the products which are into your non-performers. So that's the activity which you can perform over here. You push more budgets onto your high hero products and cut down the budgets onto your non-performers. So that's what we have put over here. In the quadrant one, you do a stop loss. In quadrant two, which is hero products, you scale these products using budgets. And for quadrant three, which is your high potential, you give more opportunity to it. You give more spins to it and see how these perform. The last one is your zombie products. This is where most of the brand's catalog lies. 80% of the product will always lie in this segment. Now, what we do with this is that currently we don't know whether it's doing well for us in terms of revenue. We are not spending enough money onto it. We can pick up some products out of this set, start piloting or let's say experimenting with these products, see how these products work. So once you start giving budgets, it either goes into your hero product list or it goes into your non-performers. If it goes into your non-performers, you remove these products from promotion. If it goes into your hero products, you scale them. uh, promotion spends on these products. Yeah, so that's the way of looking at these products on your marketplace. You put them into these four profitability quadrants, identify where your product currently sits, and according to the bucket they are on, you take action on top of it. So this is just how you do that. So let's say if I've identified my hero products, I will identify these ASINs. I'll come to my Amazon, create a campaign for it, give a dedicated budget to it, and put all those ASINs which I've identified as hero products over here and run these campaigns. So now I have a dedicated top performer campaign running for me with a specific budget. Let's say 30% of budgets or 40% of budgets I want to give for just for my top performing products, and get the right value out of it. Similarly, for your non-performers, you can just go into each campaign, find out your non-performer list, and then remove these products from being promoted. So that's how you kind of solve this problem. You identify your products. The initial use cases, you first create your analysis, identify what products are doing well for you, not doing well for you. Once you identify this, then you take up your product sets or put them into your campaigns, and then automatically promote these products with the right budgets. Yes, so this is how you solve this problem. But I know this is a tedious, very long process where it takes a huge amount of time. And to do this on a recurring basis, it would uh, be a really daunting task for any team. So that's where we have brought in BigAtom. So BigAtom is the product performance management, as we call it, so which helps you identify what are your right set of products, where should you push your budgets on, what are all the products where you have to increase your budgets, where what are all high potential products. So our automated platform helps you identify all of this. I'll just play a quick video of how this works. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, I'll take you through the first one. So, the point of identifying your analytics and then creating these product into your campaigns. So, what we have done is we have automated that process for you in the system. So, we have a easy to create a rule-based system. You come into the dashboard. So, this is the actual demo of how you can do it using the Big Atom dashboard. So, you come into the dashboard, you create a smart product set. You choose the metrics you want to choose. Let's say similar to what we had in these buckets where spends is greater than let's say 200 rupees and spends less than 2000. So I want to pick up all those products between 200 to 2000 rupees spends, and it's currently giving me a ROAS. Let's say uh, here you can pick up from the list of all the metrics which is available. You could probably do it on ROAS, conversion rate, revenue, CPC, CPS, whatever metric you want to choose, you can choose them. You can do it at a category level, you can do it at a brand level, you can do it at individual ASINs. So let's say here we are choosing a category. We can apply that to a specific category and say that, okay, I want to do it on a category, let's say, for example, shirts here. And it just apply it. So now what our system does is that it does all the manual work which we did. It identifies all the SKUs for you by going into each and every campaign, create an analytics for you, just like what you're seeing at the bottom. So we know that for this ASIN, this is the spends currently we have, this is the ROAS, this is the CTR, this is CPC. So you get all the metrics, an in-depth product analytics view for you to analyze and just set up these rules and push them into your campaigns. So what our system does is that two benefits. One is you don't have to manually do all of these analysis. Second is it also ensures that your product sets are automated. So these are all not static sets. Let's say if you have to manually do it, you do it once in a week, once in a month. What we do is we ensure that your product set gets updated on a recurring frequency. So in this case, I've said that every 3 days, I want you to relook at this rule, which I've said, see what all products which falls under this rule now. If a product is falling under this rule, then you add them to the campaign. If something which was already added is not meeting this criteria now, you automatically remove them from the campaign. So that essentially ensures that whatever work which we did manually in the previous slides are completely automated. Your data collection, your data processing, and pushing them into your campaigns are completely automated now. You can just focus on pushing these right set of products using the rules, which are easy for you to pick from the platform. So the second, yeah, so this is a success case for the product sets which we have had. So Metro brands, they use the product sets which we created right now. They started promoting their top performing ASINs, high potential ASINs, and low discovery. We had a 26% extra revenue generated than the normal campaigns which they used to run at a scale of 30% plus spend. So it's not just that you maintain the spends and then you're getting a ROAS jump. You're also increasing the spends, you're scaling the campaigns, and you're able to also improve the efficiency in the campaigns. So they saw a 20% average increase in their ROIs. Yes. Ad spend savings using stop loss automation. So again, this is the second bit where I mentioned that, okay, you can remove the products which are not performing for you. Similar to your products, that you can set up rules for removing the products which are your non-performers. Say that, okay, any product which is currently spending more than this and it's giving me less ROAS less than this, or its A cost is greater than this, all these products will be automatically removed from your campaigns without you having to go and remove these products from each and every campaign. If you have to manually do it, it's a very tedious task. You need to open 10 campaigns, find out what these products are running, and then pause these campaigns. So that's something which the system helps you automate and ensure that you don't have to lose out on these. So let's say if you have to manually do it, you do it once in a week. By that time, your product would have already spent like 10,000 rupees ineffectively. If let's say system is doing it for you on a daily basis, it keeps on checking as soon as the product reaches that criteria which I've set, it removes the product so that you're not wasting any extra spends on these products. Again, a case study for stop loss. We saw Go Colors save 11% of their monthly ad spends, which is a significant number. 10% of ad spends would give you a significant boost in your ROAS. So they saw a 48% increase in their ROAS by just enabling stop loss in their account. Yeah. So these are some of the cases where spend is greater than 600 and ROAS is less than 2x, or spend greater than 550. These are multiple cases they have set for each category, and we were able to get the 11% savings out of these campaigns. So that brings an end to what I had to present today. So what I want to summarize is that you have a look at your product level analytics and take the right calls on what products to be promoted, what products to be removed from promotions. So what we see is that we have often come across brands do a lot of optimization at a bid level, budget level, but we also see choosing the right products is as important lever as much as like what you do with bids. And BigAtom can help you solve that problem of manually identifying these products, spends, classifying them. Instead, you can do all of this in a single click by just connecting your account. You get all the data. Then you just keep on setting up the rules and promoting all your products at a much easier way. So thank you. That's covers my session. Thanks, and I'll pass it on to Shruti now.
Thank you, Sriram, for the insightful session. I'm sure our audience is eager to get started with their Big Atom tool. Over to you, Alisha.
Thank you, Shruti. Hi, everybody. Just a second. I'll just present my screen first. Perfect. I hope it's visible for everybody. All right. So a brief intro about me. I'm Alisha. I have been into digital spaces for last 6 years. While I've operated across platforms like Meta, Google, marketplaces like Amazon, Myntra, I think one consistent problem that I've seen is optimizing PDPs, right? So that's what I'm here for today. I'll help you uncover how can you really ace your listings across marketplaces. Right. So let's begin with a few common challenges that a lot of e-commerce brands face these days. The very first one, we have often heard brands complaining, my product is not really discoverable on Amazon or maybe on Myntra or Flipkart. Right. I am trying to bid high, but still my product is not visible throughout the day. Right. Another thing that we've seen is my CPCs across the month has been rising. I have even been violating the category benchmarks. What could be the possible reason that could be contributing to this, right? Another interesting thing that we've heard is while my paid sales contribution is higher to my overall business, I don't see the organic being at par. right? So while you hear all these questions, what if I told you an important contributing factor here could be your unoptimized listings, right? So we've seen in a number of brands where listings are not optimized at par, at least 10 to 15% impact can come to your overall conversions if you optimize your listings in the right way. Right. So what I'll do is the entire session is divided into three parts. We'll talk about the importance of listing optimizations. We'll cover what kind of impact does an optimized listing has on your business, followed with the most essential question of the day. How do we really optimize a listing for the best impact? Right. All right. So let's get started with the importance of listing. Setting the context first. So while we look from a marketplace point of view, the two major entities in the role. One is the brand, other is the marketplace. Right. So while the brand has major control over the kind of content it has, the marketplace would want to optimize and control the search part of it. Right. So any marketplace it operates in a way where it would want to give the most relevant product to the search query, right? The way it does is it evaluates the content given by the brand, uh, and then maps it in the direction of the search query. Now, brands directly don't have any control over the marketplaces directly don't have any kind of control over the content. So it becomes very important for the brand to play an important role in providing the right kind of content to these marketplaces so that they're able to showcase the right kind of products to the right prospecting audiences towards the end of the day. After this context, what I've done is for the ease of understanding, I've divided the entire importance of listing across three stages of the sales funnel. Let's begin with awareness. So while we understand awareness as stage wherein the product discovery is essential, if we optimize our listing in the right direction, if we introduce right kind of backend keywords, if we optimize our titles in a way wherein people are able to understand the utility of the product, the application, the USPs well, right? I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to rank higher on marketplaces. We'll be able to ensure that our product is organically visible, and at the same time we'll be able to capture on niche searches. For instance, person searching for shorts, a lot of times we see niche searches like uh, you know, black shirts being searched, or shirts by the type of material being searched. For instance, cotton shorts being searched. A lot of time brands miss out on, mentioning all these important attributes in their catalog files which they upload on marketplaces, right? And as a result, while these niche searches are happening, the algorithm is not able to prioritize your PDPs. In fact, in Myntra, you must have seen there's a huge catalog file. There are a lot of list of columns where you need to fill in the product attributes, like the kind of material it is, the kind of color it has, what kind of size it has, etc., etc. So while a lot of these platforms also operate using filters, for instance, on Myntra, we have seen maximum amount of searches happen via filters. For instance, people might be searching using brand filters, price filters, color filters, all of these. So if you're not mentioning all these important attributes in your catalog files, the customer at the end of it will not be able to discover your product. Discovery, being a part of the search result, will also be not there. Right. So that is a part of awareness. Moving on to the consideration part of it. So while prospects are evaluating your listings, they're also looking at the kind of product that you're selling. They're comparing the USP, they're looking at the applications of the product, they're looking at what kind of reviews and ratings have been there for that product in past. How do we utilize that product in the best way? So that really impacts the overall purchase decision of the customer. If you're able to give right kind of descriptions, if you're able to give right kind of images, right kind of videos that really help the customer make that end-to-end buying decision, your consideration will be far more better than what it has been so far. In fact, we've also seen if you optimize your titles in a better way, where you're using the first 80 characters on Amazon in the best way, you will see your CTRs are also improving, right? Moving on to the purchase part of it, so we've seen a lot of times brands struggle in maintaining single voice across different marketplaces. For instance, if you're selling shorts, what you're selling on Myntra might be very different from what you're selling on a Flipkart or on Amazon, right? So it's very important that your listings are optimized in a particular fashion across these marketplaces so that whatever you're communicating is cohesive at the end of the day. At the same time, while your listings are optimized properly, you will also say you are able to build a better brand recall with these customers. You're able to build a better brand loyalty with them. Right. So now while we understand the entire importance of listings, I'll just walk you through how do we optimize these listings in the right way so that you are able to create best conversions and impact in your campaigns. So one thing that I'd like to emphasize on is that every platform has a list of detailed listing requirements that they ask you share. Please don't shy away from putting on all the details that are required. For instance, I understand Myntra has a very long list of listing format wherein they ask for all kind of attributes, and a lot of brands miss out on filling all those columns. It's very relevant that you fill out all those columns because again, every platform operates in a different fashion. The filter-based searches happening, the niche searches happening. And again, these platforms are very dynamic in nature. If you fill in all those attributes, your chances of discovery will again be higher. In fact, for certain brands, what we also saw is while these platforms came up with different formats, the brands were able to leverage these formats a little better, had better discoverability on the platform, and the conversions were also better at the end of the day. Moving on to titles, descriptions, and backend tags. So what you've also seen is every platform attributes a different amount of weightage to how should a title be optimized, how should a description should be optimized, what weightage is even given to backend tags. So ensure that your titles are compelling. You're able to put in the right amount of product USP. For instance, if you're selling a power bank, you need to mention the battery strength of the product. You should mention the USP of the product if it's wireless, portable, etc. So that the customer is able to navigate through your product in the right way. At the same time, what you also need to do is detailed descriptions. So you've seen that a lot of time brands miss out on giving out on detailed descriptions, especially by the way of bullet points. Customers are not intended towards reading those whole summary and paragraphs, right? So we recommend that each unique USP is crisp and is directing towards a unique USP. Right. So if you're able to map the right amount of keywords there, if you're able to optimize it for SEO, high search volume keywords, your chances of discoverability conversions will be way more higher. At the same time, you can leverage other elements of listings also. For instance, FAQs, they are an interesting part. For technical products like electronics, gadgets, you can obviously attach a list of FAQs. You can tell them how the product can be leveraged in a particular way, the applications of the products, right? So that it impacts the overall buying decision of the customer at the end of the day. Moving forward, yes, you can obviously play a better role over your ratings and reviews. You should be answering the questions that are coming across your ratings and your reviews, right? That gives you a better perception over the competition and also helps you build a good connection with your audiences. At the same time, leveraging A plus content, premium A plus content is also there into the field of Amazon at this moment. So you can leverage all of this for better engagement with your customers. Moving on, I have an example of an unoptimized listings towards my left, wherein I have when I came across this product of LG, wherein I could see there was a lot of potential to build on their listing. For instance, if you look at the title there, they're talking about 185 L5, 185 liters, 5-star inverter direct cooling single door fridge. However, if you look at an optimized title towards the right, you will see that it's pretty much in detail. For instance, it talks about in smart inverter compressor. It has fast ice making technique. It has a base tank withdrawer, the kind of cells that it is using. It's energy efficient and all of that. So while customer engages through these kind of titles, he'll be much more aware of the kind of product. He'll be able to do a better comparison of the product, and chances of conversions are also going to be higher. Again, if you see here, we have no description towards this on this PDP, right? We have also come across the kind of description that you have. We have a small brief summary mentioning that what is the USP of the product, how can it make your life simpler. Then we have included the key features. For instance, it has a smart inverter, it has fast ice making technique, then it has toughened glass and all of these. So if you look at the right part of the listing, you see that it is way more compelling than the one on left. It makes a way more better impact on the entire purchase journey. And at the end of the day, the customer will be able to make way better decision, right? So it's better if we optimize our listings in a particular fashion. All right. So now, one very frequent question that comes to me is that we are a large catalog brand. We have thousands of listing, and we keep updating. We keep launching new products weekly, right? So how often do we optimize our listing? And again, since it's a manual process, we've seen that a lot of errors happen. For instance, if a shirt is black, you might see that on the front you're watching a white shirt. However, the title says black. So again, since listing, uploading, and all of this is again a manual process, it is prone to a lot of human errors, and that what impacts the brands at the end of the day. So that's where I like to talk of Catalog AI, which is our very in-house product, wherein we leverage this tool to end-to-end solve for all the listing requirements of the brand. For instance, how does it work? The work is, I'll just brief you through that. So whatever sources of data you have. For instance, it could be your vernacular, it could be your e-shop box, it could be your PDPs, all of that. It collates all this data into one source, right? Then it leverages AI to basically analyze the entire information that you provided and the kind of information that is mentioned in your PDPs. It then studies the entire data, understands the category level trend, understands what kind of season, what kind of keywords are trending at the moment, how does a particular category behaves over a period of time, maps seasonal trends and all of that, identifies all these important pointers that are missing out of your listings, and at the end of it, it customizes this listing basis the requirement of each platform, right? And then we are able to have this entire list wherein we have an optimized listing, and we are able to upload it for all your marketplaces. I'll give you a detailed view of how this entire mechanism works. So one is that data collection. So one is we collate all your data from all important data sources like your product listings, your e-shop box, your vinculum, and all of that. And after the data collection, we classify the gaps between your listings. For instance, if your catalog says the shirt is black, but your image says the shirt is white, we collate this information together. We leverage AI to understand what are the gaps, and then we put in the right information. Then, basis the kind of gaps we realize, we observe, we rank it on the basis of priority, and the requirements for each platform. And then we suggest a list of corrective, optimized titles, descriptions that should actually be a part of your listings. Once this is done, we upload the AI uploads the entire format on your actual platforms, right? And after this is done, over a period of time, that also measures the kind of impact that it has on your listings. I'll just walk you through a detailed case study of we tried it over a brand and what kind of impact it generated, right? Again, so you can measure once the change is done, what kind of jump in your impressions have come, what kind of CTR have come, if the views overall have improved or not. And then again, it's an iterative process. It for brands which face challenges with large catalogs, there are a lot of new NPDs are launched. The AI also ensures there's a frequency of checks placed into the system. If there are any new categoric new terms coming up, those are changed into your listings and those are updated timely. Uh, Towards the end, I will just walk you through a small case study that we did with a very renowned brand of ours called Raymond. So Raymond has a very large catalog, right? And their one problem statement was that we launch NPDs every week. NPDs are your new product developments, right? I've given so many, around 5 to 6,000 SKUs. It becomes very difficult for us to optimize all these listings. So as a result, we saw that most of their titles were not optimized. Most of their listings did not have, descriptions and all of those. So we took a set of their SKUs, say a set of 50 SKUs, and we implemented catalog AI over it. Right. So we got a suggestive listing of around, got a suggested list of around titles and descriptions that should actually be a part of their listing, and we uploaded those on their marketplaces. The results that we saw were remarkable. For instance, we saw the products we tried catalog AI on, though the GV jump on those products was around a 2x. We saw a 200% jump in those GVs organically. Right. We saw a 62% increase in the sales of those products compared to pre-catalog AI changes. We saw the ROS improvement about of 66 to 67% happening across these cases. At the same time, we saw that the kind of budgets we were pushing in earlier, we were not required to do that. There was a reduction of 3% marketing spend in an overall on all these 50 SKUs. So that's the strength of catalog AI, right? And while I understand that in the current ecosystem, it's very important to optimize listing, one major challenge that the brand faces doing it frequently and doing it for large catalog brands, right? So I feel AI could be a very big revolutionary part here and can be leveraged to optimize your listings and bring that impact that we are looking to build. Right, that sums up my session. We have a Q&A towards the end of it. We can cover up if there are any specific doubts to it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Alisha, for the amazing insights. I'm sure our audience is excited to apply these actionables and improve their traffic and revenue. Now we have reached the most awaited part of our webinar today, the fireside chat. We have Rudransh and Utsaa with us today. They'll be discussing how brands can effectively manage large catalogs and some, actionable insights around that. So let's get the ball rolling. My first question is for you, Utsaa. The question is, managing a large catalog across multiple marketplaces comes with unique challenges, ranging from maintaining visibility for bestsellers to ensure slow-moving SKUs get discovered. How did you tackle these issues? What strategies worked best for you?
Thank you so much, Shruti. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. Managing a diverse catalog across marketplace like Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, and the likes require a structured approach. What we usually do here is that we basically, create a balance between the visibility between a bestseller, a slow-moving SKU, or a new launch. We have distributed the budget for our bestsellers into a 70% bracket, which basically holds the star products and the cash products, the cash cows, and try and understand that, which is the product which is basically giving us the maximum set of revenue. Usually we do understand this, that 20% of the SKUs give the 80% of the revenue. And that's how we have classified that structure. In that whole process, we have been, we've been very data oriented and performance oriented approach. We've taken that to effectively manage a couple of challenges. The first one was bestsellers are how do we optimize our bestsellers to give the best performing revenue, get the best performing revenues. In that particular segment, what we did was we checked the strategic ad placements, which gives us the better results. We tried working on our inventory just to understand and forecasting our inventory to understand that the best-selling SKUs don't run out and there is a sales opportunity, which we'll miss in that particular condition. So sorry. Maintaining our A+ content, making sure the content is always enhanced and gives the audience a best set of information that we basically want to pass on with the help of that particular PDP page. Pricing and discount, of course, we just need to know that what competitive pricing strategy is actually working for us, and that's how. The second set, we covered and Sriram also covered in his presentation, was more in the terms of slow moving SKUs. How do you know that which SKU is not working fine? And that's how we've worked towards it. We've basically identified SKUs which were not doing well. We've pushed money behind it, but it was not doing well. So understanding what the performance of them, understanding which niche keywords were working for us and placing the SKUs accordingly in that so that we can get a high conversion. Running time-sensitive deals so that, we can create an urgency to push the SKUs out. We've also tried bundling of slower moving SKUs with the bestsellers, which gives us additional push in that. The last bit that I've tried in this particular segment is more in the terms of pricing, understanding which particular platform works with what kind of a strategy. So just taking an example, Amazon has a strong search-driven audience, while Flipkart responds to aggressive discounting. On the other side, Myntra, whenever we do a display kind of a display ad, it always gives us a better push on those particular products that we display. So understanding the marketplace differentiation and tailoring a strategy for each platform, that's very critical. I hope this answers your question.
Yes. Thanks for sharing these strategies, Utsa. I'm sure the audience will try to incorporate these in the future. Next question is for Rudransh. So, Rudransh, Adyogi works with a wide range of brands that face budget allocation challenges. Can you walk us through an example where smart budget allocation significantly improved the campaign efficiency and revenue for one of your clients?
Yes, Shruti, absolutely. We have multiple set of brands that have worked with us for smart allocation. Like Sriram was mentioning, I'll take his example only. There's a very famous brand, Metro. We have seen an uptick of the entire spends that they do on our platform. 30% is channelized towards smart ads, basically through smart budgeting. So they've seen a 26% incremental revenue already generating for themselves, and with a 18% higher ROI generated on the platform. So that tells you that not only for smaller set of brands, but even if you have a very large catalog and a large amount of spend on the platform, then also we can scale your business profitably, right? So, and there is another brand. Sorry, I'll not be able to name that one. Metro, we can. There is another brand in the shoe space only that we are working with. They started incremental, smaller amount of spends on our smart ads just to see the performance, and we are already giving them at least 30 to 40% higher ROI at a smaller scale at this point in time. But yes, they are very impressed with the smaller amount of budgets that they gave us to perform the pilot on. In a month or so, I think the pilot will run on for 2-3 months, but in a month's time only, they are seeing a very good performance, and the pilot has been extended. And that brand also has a very, very large spend and a very large catalog. So again, goes to tell you that the solution that we offer is going to help you at a scale.
Great, sounds good. Thank you for the answer, Rudransh. Moving on, we have another question for Utsa. So, Utsa, with brands competing for the same audience, getting your products to stand out is always a challenge. So, how do you ensure your listings remain competitive, whether through pricing strategies, content optimization, or advertising?
Thank you. So in a crowded marketplace where we know that there are so many people basically targeting the same set of an audience, we do follow three-pronged strategies that you've already mentioned above: the competitive pricing, high quality content, and smart advertising. We implemented a couple of things in the pricing strategies, which were helping us balance the competitiveness and the profitability. The first one was dynamic price adjustments. We wanted to understand that, how do we kind of in a real time give our pricing and use a couple of benchmarking tools to understand that how that particular setup works. Strategic discounting and festive promotions. We need to absolutely understand that what category specific discounts work and what kind of, festive season, and aligning with the platform sales. So something like Flipkart Big Billion Days, Amazon's Great Indian Festivals, that gives us the maximum visibility with the help of the proper pricing strategy. Bundling and value packs, of course, help us. Like I said earlier, bundling of a slow-moving SKU with a higher bestseller helps us give us an introduction to that product to the consumer, and helps gives us a new trial to that particular product, which is not moving otherwise. Exclusive marketplace deals also help us move that thing, pricing strategy on. The other set of activities, strategies that we otherwise follow is the content optimization. We really need to understand what kind of keywords are there on the platform and how can we optimize our search discoverability while engaging the audience with the help of the content that we are basically giving them. The content has to be easy to read. A+ content is absolutely critical for all the particular platforms because that gives an information to people. And like in the previous presentation also, if you give everything in an organized way, the user understands the product better, and hence the conversions would be up. Lifestyle and user-generated content usually drive more trust and towards the product, and hence the operational part of the product becomes easy for the users to understand. And then the localized content, if you want to, for the differentiated platforms, like we know that what works on an Amazon in the content side may not work for Flipkart. So understanding which platform works with what kind of a content, giving that content to that particular platform helps us get more engagement and hence more conversions. The last one here is, advertising is the winning visibility game. There are so many options of basically understanding that, what is working, what is not working, and understanding what kind of search should we do a search ad, should we do a display ad, understanding the targeted keywords using that, understanding, what were the top placements which are actually giving us the best results, and then the high end intent keywords in the general category or the specific category to help us conquer from the competition. Retargeting is one of my favorite mode of advertisements. And Adyogi has helped me across whenever we've done this kind of an activity. But what helps us is that re-engaging these users on a regular basis, giving them more information about what exactly they were looking for, and reminding of them of the particular product that they've seen, went through, gives us a higher leverage of selling that particular product to them. And experimenting with new ads is, of course, very important, because it gives us, because we've been using the same kind of an advertisement continuously, it kind of becomes a monotone for the users as well. Giving them a different outlook helps us get our product visibility better. So an interactive carousel, a video ad, influencer-backed ad creatives usually help us drive engagement higher.
Great. That was a very informative answer, Utsaa. Another question to Rudransh now. What are the most common mistakes brand make when distributing budgets across SKUs? How does an AI-driven approach help us, avoid these pitfalls?
Yes, Shruti, that's a very interesting question. And I think a lot of brands tend to focus on the, I'd say, on the wrong side of the spectrum, on the non-performers and the zombie products that we call it. If you see historically, I think it is true across categories that we have seen the high potentials plus high hero products. In our slide also it was mentioned, usually tend to bring 70 to 80% of the revenue. But the usual mix of the spends that we have seen the brands do here is only 35 to 40%. In certain cases, we have seen around 50%. But the brands tend to focus more on mixing up or giving budgets towards non-performers that in a sense that, okay, we can do liquidation and all, or the NPDs, the new products that the brands launch. So we have seen that a mix of everything creates problem for a lot of brands. It has been historically seen. So what we have seen is the Pareto applies everywhere, right? Here also, the 80% of the SKUs that are bringing in budget revenues for you, that should get the highest amount of allocation in the budgets. Having said that, everything should not be overlooked, and they should get their fair share of budgets there. Another problem or the predicament that the brands face that we have seen here is there's no separate budget for new products, NPDs that we call it. So as soon as a new product is allocated a budget or brought on the marketplaces for visibility, for selling, we have seen a lot of brands tend to make a mistake that they do not allocate any new fresh budget for those products. Although the products are new, but there is no fresh budget for that. So that creates, what it does here is it creates a problem. So the brand's expectation here is sometimes people expect that, okay, by cutting some monies from the existing monthly budget or the quarterly budget can do the trick, but it creates visibility issues for already established SKUs for you, right? So it impacts the entire budget of the brand for the month. So we usually advise the brands to come up or focus only on your high potentials and the hero products while allocating budgets. And AI tool like that we have, BigAtom, has given us a scientific approach also that yes, this is what works. So this has been the case across brands, across categories. So that's how we approach it. And we have seen across the brands, and this is what our approach for the brands also is, to focus on your hero and high potential products and minimize your spends towards loss makers at all.
Great. Thank you for the answer, Rudransh. Now, in the interest of time, we'll quickly take the last question from Utsaa. So, fashion brands and footwear brands need to stay ahead of shifting trends and seasonal demand. How do you ensure that your catalog remains relevant? And what steps do you take to capitalize on emerging trends?
Perfect. So we usually leverage the data-driven insights, trend forecasting, to ensure that our catalog remains relevant and competitive across the marketplaces like Amazon, Flipkart, and Myntra. Our approach is usually structured around trend identification, demand forecasting, understanding the dynamic marketing execution. And I'll just take you through a brief understanding on how we do this is to just stay ahead of the consumer demand. From the marketplace search and category insights, we do understand that, what kind of keywords are high searched, trending, what are the styles which are trending high, what are the best sellers category, and using Amazon brand analytics, Flipkart Pulse, Myntra trend reports, and others. Identifying emerging fashion helps us get that additional notch in that particular segment. Example, sustainable fashion that helps us create a better communication in the market that we're basically talking about. Talking to oversized fits, denim, etc. things are a couple of things that we basically do. Social listening and influencer-driven trends, of course, gives us more information from the social platforms like Instagram, Pinterest, and the others to predict what kind of demand shifts are happening. What is the products which basically the audience is at the moment searching. Partnering also with influencers helps us test and validate our products for the micro trends before scaling them across the campaigns. Competitor benchmarking, what are they selling in the same category? If there is anything which is different, then trying to understand that, what if there is a pricing difference, if there is a movement in the, launches, those are the things that we basically measure in the competitive side of the business. Understanding, additionally, we also check on the emerging trends that if there is a product positioning that needs to be worked upon or an ad personalization which requires in this particular setup, like a trend specific ad creative can help us or a key based promotions can help us. A dynamic pricing strategy can be a change maker, or just understanding that if there is a pricing during a peak demand period, can we motivate a particular user giving a certain set of an offer in a specified time? Would that help us move the sales out? So, a couple of things of those that we take care. The last thing that we also do here is cross-category building, adding on, pushing a particular product to a user who is buying maybe a shirt, giving them a denim, or giving them more information about a jackets or a classic t-shirts to maximize the AOV. That helps. Featuring the shop the look kind of an activity to give them information about the product that they're searching. But then other than the product, what else can they buy with this particular shirt can help us increase one more product in the kitty and helps us create a trend-led shopping experience for the audience as well. So these are a few things that we try.
Great. Thank you so much, Utsaa and Rudransh. It was truly insightful to learn from you. I'm sure
Thank
our
you.
audience would have gained some very valuable industry-level insights today. So thank you all for joining us today. We hope you found this session insightful and are ready to implement these strategies yourself. Have a great day.